Good evening once again, my dear viewers. This is Nocturnal Sage. This is the playlist on special topics. Right now, I have to warn you because the topic that we'll be talking about tonight is a bit morbid. And it's something that nobody would want to hear. Well, at least almost everyone won't want to hear of this because it's an inevitable destination, but it's something that is worth considering. Death. Yes, that will be the topic for tonight. I know it's quite a far fetched idea, a weird choice of topic considering that it's the Lenten season for the Catholics, but I've chosen death. Well, death is part of Jesus Christ's journey as a human being, right? He died before he resurrected. So, what about death? Which part of it would we be talking about tonight in this episode? I remember chatting with this brilliant student one day during the implementation of this student council project. He opened up to me and talked about his sentiments in his life, the struggles he is facing right now in his family. Well, that's not the point here. I just remember myself when we were talking about principles in life. I remembered myself promising him informally that I would make material on how I wish to die. And this is a fulfillment of my promise to him. So that is what I'll tell you in this episode. We plan things. We plan for our retirement. We plan for what we will do tomorrow. Yes, simplest, the simplest things in the world. You name them. But death is something that comes at an inconvenient time. We never really plan our deaths. But if I were given the chance to do so, here is how I want things to happen. So I will explain first how I want to die, and then where I want to die, and then what I want. Yes, here's the most exciting part. What I want people to do with my body when I die. So if you're getting uncomfortable, you may push the stop button right now or pause button and watch the other videos. But let me just remind you that this is one of the main aims of this channel, Nocturnal Sage. That's why it's nocturnal. We talk about lessons, we talk about stories untold, unthought of, hidden in the darkness of forgetfulness, of, you know, lack of value. And it is through this channel that we expose these dark topics. Alright, enough of me being principled here. Let's get on topic. So, how I want to die? Well, preferably, I want to die here. So this is the first time I'll be showing you my bed. Yes, quite simple, huh? It's the bed that I've been sleeping on for how many years old am I now? I'm already 25. And until now, from age 0 years to 25 years, I still fit here. See, I can still lie down peacefully. Yes, and look. See, even if I've grown taller, I still fit in here. That's why even if my mom to asked me if I wanted to have my bed replaced with a newer one, I declined the offer because I just feel at home here in my bed. Okay, so I think that answers the implicit question where I want to die. Of course, I want to die in bed. And how I want to die. Well, I prefer, just like everyone else, okay, I'll be specific. I want to die of, I don't know if I have the term right. I want to die of arrhythmia. I am a martial artist and people consider me athletic, every day I train at home, and I noticed a sudden change. After 3 years of doing so, I've noticed a sudden change in my heart rate. And according to one doctor, people with heart rates lower than 50, close to 50 at the very least, or lower than 60, they are prone to having pacemakers installed in their systems because, yes, they will be prone to arrhythmia, which pertains to irregular heartbeat. So that's my preferred way of dying, arrhythmia. Why do I want that? Because it's sudden, if my heart beats stops beating all of a sudden and I didn't plan it to happen, at least it's all over. I don't have to endure the undesirable pain there is to be felt if someone stabs me with a knife and then twists it and where he or she plans to hit me. Oh, that will be the most cruel suffering that I may have to encounter. Well, I'm blessed enough not to have encountered that, but hearing those gruesome news on TV, it just makes me feel sick. Yeah, so that's how I want to die. I want to die of irregular heart rhythm. Okay, it's time for me to get up. Well, since I've not died yet, I don't need to lie down all the time. It's really important to lessen your sitting time and even the length of time you spend in bed because it can affect your lifespan according to this article that I've read. That's why oversleeping, okay, I don't know why oversleeping can damage one's health and shorten one's lifespan, but my theory is it's because of this circadian rhythm that they call. It can too much lying down can alter your body clock. So if you have to feel alert, your body finds it hard to do so because your overtime in bed can disrupt your rhythm. Okay, I've answered the first two questions: where I want to die, how I want to die, and then now, okay, I've discussed before and then during. Now, what do I want to happen after my death? Basically, I prefer not to have many people surround my body and then cry, weep, that I'm gone. If assuming that there's a soul, I have a soul, I come out of my body upon death, and then I see my body being carried away from my bed by certain people who discover it. Now, I think I'll find it unpleasant to watch the doctors do some autopsy and then have my body cremated or buried. No, I don't want such kind of service. I prefer, actually, this, you might find this weird, but I prefer a private death. A death in which no one knew that I had been gone. That's why, oh yeah, I did mention I want to die in bed. And if ever, yes, I may want to die in bed, but at the same time, I also want to die in a place that's isolated from society. Later on, I'm thinking of pursuing my life, the life of a modern hermit, if you can call it that. Right now, I'm working with people, with lots of people in a stable institution. I'm a teacher. And I'm thinking after a few years' time, upon retirement, I will imitate the lives of thinkers like Nietzsche and a few others who lived in isolated places to pursue their artistic endeavors. So I might do the same. I might opt to maybe it may entail, if I cannot find any place here in the Philippines, maybe I have to go abroad and then find a secluded mountain area where that is livable by human beings like me. I plan to stay there for the remaining years of my life, and maybe at that time, if I reach the age of 60, my parents may have been gone by then. But that's how I want to live the few moments, the last moments of my life. Oh, by the way, I want to live as long as 100. Yes, right now that's my disposition. And to those older folks, to my older viewers who would troll me for wanting to live until the age of 100, let me tell you that I believe in myself that I won't regret it. I won't regret that wish because right now, if a person really is in love with life, is really has this passion for living, that person will not mind living a long life as long as 100 years. And if I were sick of my life, I would never wish for living centennial year. But anyway, if in case I reach that point where almost all my loved ones are gone, decomposed, return to the environment, existing as atoms in the air, in the soil, or water, then I want to spend my life privately where no one would knows me, and those who have will eventually forget about me. And then in that secluded area, I want to get sick. Probably yes, sickness is inevitable. I'll get sick, but while being so, I am already writing my last works. And not just writing, I also want to pursue music. And then I also want to spend the last, yes, probably the last days, my body could execute the kicking and punching techniques, and as well as a few others that I've learned from karate. And then on my last breath, I don't want to be found by anyone. I just want my body to decompose as it is in bed, and then it will only be discovered by a certain number of people when the only parts that had remained would be my very bones. Yes, that's the only time I want to get discovered. When it's too late to have my body cremated or buried because they don't need to anymore. Yes, and probably on those last days I'll be writing testaments where I want my wealth to go, whom I want my health to go to be used by. Well, that's beside the point. I don't really intend to be a millionaire. Well, monetarily speaking, financially speaking, I don't. However, I still want to be rich in substance. You know, aside from I became a teacher. I became a teacher simply because of the financial aspect. I need money to get by. And that's one evidence why I don't aspire to be a millionaire just like others who define their worth based on the weight of their wallets, of their bank accounts. But as for me, I'd rather focus on my self undertaken role as an artist. Yes, this is the first time I am proclaiming that in front of others. I am an artist. Maybe that's why I've engaged in many artistic endeavors, martial arts, literature. Well, literature came before martial arts. And then music. I want to be known for my artistic endeavors. And even if I end up having zero balance in my bank account someday, well, the money won't come with me. This body, I just see it as a transfer system. I have somewhat like the same attitude as Sherlock Holmes. So, I really don't care what happens to my wealth because one thing will never change. One thing will never go away because in the first place, I have never acquired it. It is a quality that's ironic because I consider having it, but at the same time there's really nothing to gain from it. And that's integrity. And integrity as an artist is very important. I may not have the most number of subscribers. I may not have the most number of fans, of admirers, and I may even have a lot of haters or people who simply don't care about what I do. But at least before I close my eyes, I'd never forget. I would always remember that the fact of how I lived, of how I retained my integrity would never change, even if many people would forget about it. That's how I want to die. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be discovered. And I don't want my body to be buried in the libingan ng mga bayani or the burial for the graveyard for heroes. So, let's see if I can make that wish come true. Well, who would anyway? Well, that's just my preference. I don't want you to take it as a demand, you know? Nobody really plans their death. I'd rather death come instantly. I don't want, to get sick for so long before I die. I want it to happen instantaneously. No more unnecessary sufferings. Just get on with it, death. That's what I would tell it. Okay, so this has been another episode of Nocturnal Sage, and this episode, by the way, is I think the best epitome of nocturnal, because this is the first time I've brought up a morbid topic. And if you want more topics like this in the future, even if it's not Halloween, just comment below. Or if there are some contentions, some gray areas on what I've just spoken on that you'd like to address, just feel free to let me know and I'll get back to you. So thank you once again to my subscribers, to my daily viewers, if there are daily viewers, weekly viewers. So tune in again next week for another segment in Nocturnal Sage. So see you next time.